Good evening, croeso, and welcome to Pilates back care. Now, I have only been teaching back care online for the last 6 months or so because I was always very nervous that people couldn't, I couldn't see them or help them or adjust them. But actually, I found it to be very useful for everybody to learn how to unwind, relax, learn the really small details of Pilates and just enjoy a session that's not really full-on work all the time. So earlier this evening I've asked you to bring your Pilates ball and your mat and your band, and I do apologise because I know we've got lots of new people in here who haven't had time to get Pilates ball. So I'm not going to use the Pilates ball tonight, but I will definitely use it next week, and I'll do a little short video on where you can buy a Pilates ball, what is a Pilates ball and all of that, because I've had a few people kind of going like, what's a Pilates ball? One person was going to bring one of the big blue balls. No. All right, so how does back care work? Now, as I said, I've been teaching back care for probably 35 years now. And when we first started, we were looking at exercises to strengthen the spine. And then Pilates seems to be the thing that people go to when they have a back issue. And if you go to your GP or chiropractor, they'll probably recommend Pilates. But if we were to do classical Pilates, it actually is not great for your back. There are many exercises there that you have to be strong for. And if you have a weak and unstable back, they're not going to do you any good. So I used to call this a back care class. But what I found out was that the GPs were still referring people to Pilates. So I use the word Pilates, we follow the Pilates principles, but many of the exercises in here are based around more modern research into how do we create spinal stabilisation. So I'm going to start off with one explanation first, then we're going to just do a whole class together. It's going to include some relaxation at the end, which is luckily, because I've asked you to bring a small pillow, so you can have a pillow, if you get cold, put a blanket on, whatever. And I'm going to leave you on the floor after the relaxation. I'm not going to get you back up to standing. Please, when you come up back to standing, take your time. During the relaxation session, I will be talking to you from this distance, because if I do the relaxation when I'm lying on the floor, I end up shouting and it's not very relaxing. Good evening. Hello, pal. Are you all enjoying so far? Anybody aching yet? Okay, so let's have a look at something called positional sense muscles. So within the spinal column itself, you have the big muscles around your back that stabilise and move your spine all happily. But you also have a series of hundreds of smaller muscles that crochet down from your neck all the way through to your spine, to your coccyx. And these muscles are very specific neural drive muscles. And they're called positional sense muscles. And they sense speed, direction and orientation. And what they do is they make minuscule adjustments to different parts of your spine dependent upon the movement that you're doing. So if you do have a back issue, okay, you might find like you walk around okay, but then you sneeze and it's like, oh, okay, and it's because your positional sense muscles have not had time to stabilize because the movement, the speed and the direction were too quick for them to adjust. So lots of what we're going to do today is to try and focus on the internal part of our body. How does it feel on the inside, okay? The second thing that we're going to do tonight, I've had 2 people ask me about piriformis syndrome. So piriformis is part of your pelvic floor. All right, so you have your pelvic floor itself, and then you have 2 muscles that form kind of a wall, and together they're like a shell shape that make up your pelvic diaphragm. Now the piriformis muscle is one of those, okay, so obturator internus is the other one. Your piriformis attaches internally onto the sacrum, okay? So if you put your hands onto your lower back here, where your spine wedges into your pelvis, that is your sacrum. So it starts on the inside here, it goes through the hip joint and connects externally onto your hip joint, okay? So find your hip joint, that's where it connects. Now, if you spend a lot of time sitting, okay, what happens is this muscle stays in that stretched position for a long time. Along that same line, you've got your vagus nerve, but you also have your sciatic nerve. You know where I'm going with this now. And when this piriformis is constantly in the same position, it does two things. So number one, it fatigues completely. And number two, it goes into like a tension rather than a state of relaxation. So then you get shooting pains across the hip and down your leg. You can get referred sciatic pain. Remember, sciatica is a side effect of something not working quite well in your back and your pelvis area. And the piriformis becomes irritated. So when you think of it, something irritated, you want to liken it to having a small paper cut, where it can be the teeniest cut, but it feels really sore. And if you catch it, it really hurts. It's the same here. This nerve gets very, very sore. So you can't cross your legs, getting in and out of the car, and then lying down flat where you change your hip angle from here to here becomes really painful. So lying in bed becomes uncomfortable, lying on your side becomes uncomfortable. So we're going to pay some attention to your piriformis. There's a proviso for this. Because it is already slightly irritated, do not work hard at it. Kind of go into a little bit of a stretch and come out of it, okay? So kind of, just play about and come away. If you think like, don't go into a stretch quickly, remember that positional sense muscles, you want to move into the stretch slowly and come out of it slowly. And hopefully by the end of this, your lower back pain will be a little bit easier. And it was the piriformis syndrome that made me think of the Pilates ball, because the Pilates ball is absolutely top banana for piriformis. But we're going to leave that tonight. I have got a towel, okay, and I have got a band, and we're going to start in a standing position for our back care. Okay, so part of what we want to do in back care is to ensure that the skeletal system is stacked in the best kind of configuration that we can do. We're going to start at the feet, because if the feet are in position, the rest of it kind of fits together a little bit more. So your feet need to be hip distance apart. These are not the hips that you think you have, but it's a very specific measurement where your hip bone lines up with the middle part of your kneecap, and your middle part of your kneecap lines up with your second toe. So think about this line coming down through the front of your body. Place your hands onto your pelvis and then press your pelvis slightly forwards. You want to think about dropping that tailbone down. Now, if this is uncomfortable on your piriformis, stand where you feel comfortable. Hand onto your sternum and lift your sternum up. Move your head over your body and then release. Okay, so we're going to start with a breath in. So taking a deep breath in, lifting the arms up high, holding the breath in your body, and then releasing the arms down and rolling your shoulders back. Try that again. Deep breath in, really lift and extend. Now, if you've got any shoulder problems, don't feel like you have to lift the hands up. Part of this lifting of the movement will really help to move and mobilize the body. One more time. And breath out. So we're going to start with the shoulder. The shoulder has these 4 ranges of movement that we talked about on Monday. So you want to bring the shoulder forward, up, back, and drop it down. So when you drop it down, feel like you're trying to put your hand in a deep pocket. Okay, so you want to roll it away. Then with the elbow, feel like you're trying to draw a circle with the elbow, or if you're feeling aggravated, like you're elbowing somebody out of the way. Now take that elbow up higher and pull it back behind you. And again, notice how much movement happens in your back or your pelvis when you're doing this movement. Now with the full arm, think about that full moon that we saw last night and so still alive this morning, and feel like you're drawing around that full moon. It was so pretty this morning. I was walking the dogs on the beach, well, not on the beach, on the cliff, and this full moon was over the sea. It was just amazing. And release. Okay, upper body, wrap around your rib cage, wrap around your shoulders, and then open out on your semaphore arms. So these are diagonal arms that work through your shoulders, then wrap around and open. And again, wrap around and open. One more time, wrap around and open. Okay, doing your toy soldier arms, remember you want to move from the shoulder joint. So swinging the arm forward, your thumb is forward and your little finger pulls back. So you pull up and back, and again up and back. 2 more goes, 1 more go, and then release. Okay, so keeping the pelvis still, step your feet out a little bit wider and bend your spine. Okay, then bend your spine back to the center. Now this is the start of understanding where you are at. I want you to see whether you can bend to the right and the left the same, whether you can have that feeling of being stuck between 2 panes of glass, or whether you're moving slightly forwards. Now slide your hand up to your armpit and let your head drop. Okay, if you find this is challenging, just keep your arm where it was before. If that feels good, reach your arm up to the ceiling, and as you lean, just take the weight of the arm slightly over. So reach up to the ceiling, bend your back, let your arm come a little bit over. What you're trying to do is to wake up that nervous system in your back to see how that feels. One more time, here we go. All right. Okay, so we're going to move now to the rotational element. So you rotate roughly here. So take your right hand to your left hip, your left hand to your right hip, and you're just going to do a little bit of a swing, and you're going to notice at what point can you touch your hand to your hip. Is it the same on the right and the left? Or do you feel like your knees and your hips are moving? All right, moving down to the hips, I want you to think of a compass, okay? North, south, east and west. So starting with the pelvis, I want you to move the pelvis east to west. And this is your warm-up around that piriformis area. If it helps, you can place your hands onto your hips here and move that weight side to side, letting your body feel that shift in weight between one side and the other. You know, don't worry about what you look like, just think about how does that feel. Okay, so I want you now to try and draw a circle and think about going around that compass point, but without really moving your shoulders and your knees. So it's really specific to the pelvis. Now reverse it. And I want you to think like if it was a clock face, okay, with the numbers around the edge, can you touch all the numbers on the clock? Or do you find like you kind of miss a few? All right? And then release. Okay, coming back in, we're going to start with a split stance on the feet. So I'm going to turn sideways on. I want you to take a step forwards in your normal walking pace. From here, you're going to move forwards, push up on the back of the heel, and come back and pull up through the front of the toes. So you're going to come forwards, opposite arm up, and you're going to come back. And I just want you to swing gently in a movement that feels kind of comfortable. So remember, we're looking at balance and changing weight, and this is going to wake up your nervous system. So just go with whatever feels easy for you. Okay, and then release and change over to the other side. So standing, normal step forward, just move forwards and move back. And then when you move forwards, take the opposite arm forward And then just go into a gentle sway. So whatever feels nice for you, okay? Just kind of go with it. Just let your body relax. Don't be too tense with this. And then release. The rest of the time we're going to come down onto the floor. If you have your towel, what I'd like you to do is to fold it, like this and like this. And I want you to place it here, okay? Okay, so the towel is underneath your lumbar spine area. And I want you to start off by doing that kind of rolling east to west. And make sure you're conscious of the towel. The towel is going to help you with the feedback. And you just want to let your body relax into position here. Arms out wide. And see if you can just let your knees move this time as well as your pelvis. Now again, there's no right and wrong with this. You just want to think about how does this feel? But ideally, I want you to keep the knees apart and not together. Okay, keeping your feet down onto the floor, rolling the shoulders back and down. I want you to be conscious of the towel. If you haven't got the towel, slide your hands underneath your lower back. Take a deep breath in. As you breathe out, I need you to compress the stomach. So I want you to think of a massive plate of peas from your rib cage down to your pelvis. And as you breathe out, imagine all those peas are going to gather in your belly button. So do you remember those little games with the little silver ball? I want you to feel like you're drawing everything towards your belly button. Keep your feet onto the floor. And then when you let go, just let it relax without letting your back arch. Okay, so your arms are up. You're going to take a deep breath in. Breathe out, squeeze. Peas on the plate. Take a quick breath in. Breathe out. And then release. And again, breathe out. Taking your time. Moving nice and slowly. Breathe out. Lovely. And then release. Okay. Come into your frog stretch. So soles of the feet together and let your hips relax. Now this is a way to warm up around that sacroiliac, your piriformis. You're moving into this open leg, but when you're rocking, you're kind of taking that little bit more blood flow into this deep muscle. So you just want to keep it moving. Now bring your knees and your feet together. Hold your hands together and tick-tock your knees, okay? So your knees are going like a metronome side to side, taking your time as you're moving across. Okay, so this is the last bit of the warm-up. And then release. Okay, so we're going to start off today with a leg slide, and we're going to start by a foot walk. You're going to use your fingers to place them onto your lower abs to check everything's working. So you're going to take a deep breath in, you're going to breathe out, you're going to tighten your stomach, and you're going to lift your right foot just off the floor and place it down, then your left foot just off the floor and place it down. Try it again. Now, as you're doing this movement with your foot, I want you to see if you can feel your stomach muscles contracting. So as you're lifting, you can feel the stomach muscles contracting, lifting up and dropping it down. And again, lifting up and dropping it down. 2 more goes. Try not to let your belly stick out. Just try and feel like you're just squeezing and releasing. 2 more goes. 1 more time. Lovely. And then release. Okay, so this time, let your knees roll over to the side and turn your head to the opposite direction. Bring your knees up and move over and turn your head in the other direction. And again, move it over. See how far you can go on the right and the left. Okay, and then change over. Okay, coming back to the center, placing your hands onto your stomach. This time we're going to do foot up, heel away, heel drags in, foot down, and recover. When we're doing the movement, you want to be consciously contracting the core. Okay, deep breath in, breathe out. Heel up, heel away. Heel in, keep your hands on your belly, heel down, recover. Heel up, heel away, making sure your core is tight the whole time. Heel in, heel down. Remember, if you're finding your chin is lifting up or it's uncomfortable on your neck, use your little cushion underneath your head. Okay, you need to have as much support around your body as possible when you're doing your back care work. Bringing it in and bringing it down. Okay, so we're going to stretch around this piriformis and hip area, and we're going to start with this knee in. Now I want you to hold underneath the knee, and I really want you to try and lift your hip off the floor and then slide out the other leg. Now once the leg is on the floor, take the leg slightly out to the side and turn your foot away and bring your knee slightly to the side on this way. Breathing in, bring your foot back in and change over to the other leg. So you're going to bring your knee onto your chest, you're going to hug your knee in till you can lift your pelvis off. You slide this leg out and you move it out to the side and you turn your foot away. Breathe easy. Bring your foot in, slide it in and recover. Okay, so this time arms are up. You're going to take a deep breath in, you're going to lift your foot. You're going to stretch your arm and your leg, push your heel away. You're going to breathe out and you're going to drop the arms down. Okay, so you're going to lift up, push away, bring it in, drop it down. And again, so think about how your spine is working. Push away, make sure it's opposite arm, heeled away, slide it in, drop it down. Last one. Lift up, arm and leg away, taking your time, breathe it in and dropping down. Now, cross your ankles and let your knees fall out. You want to let this front area of your pelvis relax. You can take your arms out wide, you can bounce, you can jiggle, or you can stay still. Then uncross and cross them over the other way and just let that happen again. Now sometimes this feels uncomfortable, so only go to where it feels good for you. Okay, and then release. All right, let's get the band and we're going to stretch your hamstring. So I want you to place the band, remember, underneath the arch of your foot. You're going to take that leg up into the air to the point and you're just going to bounce your leg up and down a little bit. Now, this can irritate your sciatic nerve. Okay, so only go to the point where it feels comfortable. Do not push it, okay? Because if your sciatic nerve is irritated on this stretch, it could be a slip disc, okay? So just go very cautiously. If you feel okay, bring your foot here and slide the other leg out. Okay, so you just want to hold your leg into position. Now this is going to stretch your piriformis. So you're going to bring your leg over. Remember what I said about not irritating it. You can either let your leg be free, or you can keep rolling over until your leg touches the floor, okay? Do the one that suits you. Then you come back to the center and you're going to go out to the other direction. Allow your hip to relax. Come back up to the center, split the band, place the other foot in, yeah, and just bounce away. Whoops. Okay, so remember what I said about your chin sticking up? If that's you, have a little pillow behind your head. Okay, so leg in, slide the other leg out and just stay there. So you feel the stretch. You're going to work through piriformis. So when you do the piriformis, don't let your leg come down. You want to keep your leg up and you want to bring it over because you want to stretch here. Now don't go too quickly. You can stay with it floating, or you can move all the way over and let it come onto the floor. This is quite a nice way to stretch it, but it can sometimes be problematic lifting your leg back up. Okay, so sometimes you just need to play about with what feels good for you. Lovely. Come back to the center and you're going to take your band off your leg. Okay, so from there we're going to do the bridge. Now the bridge is going to be a really good way to help that piriformis function correctly. But if you do have a tight piriformis, you can support your hips with your hands. So elbows down, breath in, feet flat, breath out. Push your hips up. So we don't want to be in this slightly saggy position. You want to have your hips up. So you can use your hands underneath your hips to hold it up, or you can keep pushing down with your feet and having your hands here. Then you're going to come in and down. Then you're going to come up. Now when you're coming up, push with the pelvis and push down with the feet. You're going to do 2 more of these. Here we go. We're going to come up, keep pushing and take it down. Make sure that your feet stay flat onto the floor and that you don't lift or rotate your feet at all. Now from there, bringing that leg onto your chest, sliding the other leg out, and if you want to, come out on the angle a little bit. Change legs, slide the other leg out, and hold the other knee in. And let's do the bridge again. Now when you're doing the bridge, you want to feel like you're training your muscles to get stronger. So you want to feel that when you're lifting up, that you are actively pressing the floor down. You're keeping your chin tucked in, so your back of your neck is long. You're pressing the hips up to the ceiling, and you're activating a little bit through the abs. You're going to do 1 more. Okay, a different stretch this time. So this time, you're going to hold onto your knee and come across into that piriformis stretch and turn your head the other way. Then you're going to change over to the other side. You're going to move across, ease it out. Come back to the center, and this is your last set with the bridge. Hands are down, deep breath in, or elbows. Push up, feet down. Now be careful when you're tired that you're not cheating now, okay? So no rolling through the feet. Keep your feet down flat. Keep working to try and lift as high as you were on the first 2. It's good. And 1 more time. Here we go. Lift up. Excellent. And now on this stretch, we're going to do this one that we did before. But when you're here, you're going to try and straighten out your leg a little bit. Just pause and then release. Change over to the other side. So you're going to take your leg over and then you just straighten it out a little bit and release. Okay, so we're going to lie onto your side now. You can use your towel if you want to as a little pillow. So if you prefer to have something by your head, you can do, but otherwise we're going to lie on your side with your arm extended away and your head on your arm, and your legs are going to be bent and this arm's going on the floor in front. You're going to keep the bottom leg bent and you're going to straighten out the top leg so your hip, knee and ankle and your shoulder are in alignment. You're going to lift your leg up and drop it down. Now it's not going to drop down onto the floor and relax. You're just going to push up and down. And I want you to keep your foot flexed as you do that. Now where your elbow is here, you're going to keep your leg up. You're going to bring your knee to touch your elbow, straighten your leg out and draw it back behind you and bend your knee. Bring it in, extend, bring it back and bend. And again, one more time, in, extend, back, last one now, bend, in, reach and bend. Okay, hold on to this leg and pull your leg back. Make sure your hip is forward. Let that stretch happen through the front of the leg. Okay, now again, bring your leg in front and turn and look up towards the ceiling. So you just have this kind of sideways movement here. And then back to the center. Okay, you're going to come up to sitting. You're going to use this arm and you're going to push one leg forward, one leg back. Now the mermaid is a great way to increase flexibility into your lower back, but if you have knee or hip problems, it can be challenging to sit like this, to sit wherever you feel comfy. If you can, you want your right shin across the front of the mat and you want to hold your left hand onto your left shin, reach your arm up and do like we did in the beginning, which was to bend your spine and take your arm over. Then take your arm down and then bend your elbow. Try and tap the floor. Okay, so you're going to come up, reach over, take your hand down, elbow down, and then try and touch the floor. One more time, reach up, reach over, hand down, elbow down and reach down. Lovely. Okay, so we're going to try onto the other side. I'm going to start with the mermaid. So left shin is across the front, left foot by your right knee, right hand on your right shin. Reach your arm up first, then bend your body, then take your hand down, bend your elbow and tap the floor. Okay, so you lift up and over, come in. So when you're doing this movement, try and imagine you're reaching as far away as you can do. Lift up, reach over, tap it down, and reach and tap. Okay, so we're going to do those movements onto the other side. So remember, knees are bent, hands on the floor in front, support your head, put your towel underneath that, and then straighten out the top leg. So you want your knee, your hip, your ankle and your shoulder to be in a straight line. And all you want to do is to lift your foot higher than your hip and down. And you don't want to let your leg relax and recover. Think about as if you were doing this in deep water, okay? So imagine that you're doing aqua aerobics. If you can keep your foot flexed, do that, but if you find that irritates your sciatic nerve, don't worry. The second movement, keep your elbow up high, try and bring your knee to touch, straighten your leg out, pull that leg back behind you, bend your knee. So you bring your knee in, reach. Now don't panic if you can't reach your elbow. You can cheat, of course, by bringing your elbow a little bit closer, okay? Or you can make it hard by taking your elbow away. Try and pull that leg behind you. Lovely. One more time. Push and away. Okay, so we're going to stretch your quad muscle. So you kind of bring your knee in, but this time you hold on and pull that leg back. Now you don't need to do anything too active here. Just the effort of taking your leg back should feel that stretch on the front of the thigh. Try not to point your toes because you can get cramp. Okay, and then you're going to roll over onto your stomach and you're going to come up into this hyperextended position. You want your legs to be long and you want to tuck your chin in. Imagine that you're reading a book. Now from there, hands underneath your shoulders, you're going to push up, and then you're going to sit back, and you're going to use your hands to push your body away and drop your head down. When you come forwards, you want to drop the pelvis and lower your body weight down gently. Okay, so hyperextension, push, coming back, ease it out. And then you're going to come up onto your hands and knees. Now, tabletop position, or swimming as we're calling it, is a really good way of increasing strength and stability in the spine. But if you don't have strength and stability in the spine, you don't want to move. The key to this is to be still. So we're going to take it easy. If you've been before and you know what to do, carry on and make it harder. When you're here, spread the fingers wide, thumbs towards each other, elbows towards each other. Don't tuck your knees underneath, and check your feet and knees are hip distance apart. So all you're going to do is lift your hand and drop. Lift your hand and drop. Lift your hand and drop. As you're doing this, feel that work in the core. Feel that work in the arm that's stabilizing. And again, 2 more goes. And then release. Knees apart. When you go back, this time you're going to massage your hands. Okay, so you're going to squeeze them together. You're going to open, close. You're going to wriggle them around. And then you're coming back. All right. From here, you're not going to lean and do east to west. You're going to hold your belly in tight. You're going to go knee up, knee down. Knee up, knee down. Knee up, knee down. Knee up, knee down. Don't lean. Hold your belly in. Lift that knee up. And again, knee up, knee down. 2 more. Knee up, knee down. This is your last one. Knee up, knee down. Sit back, move your hands, okay? So you want to wriggle your hands, you want to twirl your hands, you want to open, close your hands. Okay. Holding it in position again. Opposite hand and leg. Up and down. Up and down. Which side is stronger? Can you keep your back still? If you're falling, keep your hands on the floor and just do your legs. Okay? And again, up and down, and up and down. 2 more, and up and down. 1 more, and up and down. Sit back down and stretch, move your hands, and release. Okay, roll over onto your back for the last 5 minutes. Which is going to include the relaxation. So if you can, please lie down on your backs. You can bend your knees if you prefer, or you can have straight legs. We're going to have straight legs in a minute. And just do that rolling knees side to side, nice and easy, so that you're not kind of, moving too quickly into position. If you want to put your pillow behind your head, you can do. And you want to be taking some couple of deep breaths in, so it's nice and slow, and that you're not, gasping. It takes a little bit of time. Okay, so this is going to be a slight progressive muscle relaxation, and I want you to do the action of tense and release through the muscles. So if you can, straighten your legs out. If it's uncomfortable, bend one knee, okay? You don't have to bend both knees. Roll your feet in and out. So toes come in, toes go out, and again. 2 more goes. And then let your feet roll out and just stay there. Now stretch and open the gaps between your toes and stretch through the bottom of your feet. And then release. With your calves and your thighs, tense or press into the floor Don't point your toes because it can cause cramp, but squeeze and tighten your butt muscles and then release. So press your calves, your thighs, your glutes into the floor and then let go. Same thing with your shoulders. Push your shoulders and your back into the mat and release. Imagine you're trying to make an imprint of your body and let go. With your belly, tighten. Imagine you're putting on the tightest pair of trousers and let it go. And when you let it go, let it really hang out, okay? So tighten, 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 and release. Now with your hands, open and close your hands and stretch your fingers wide. Then release. Press your arms into the floor and let go. Turn the palms towards the ceiling and let your hands relax till the fingers curve in towards the middle part of your body. Just gently move your head from side to side. Take a deep breath in, slow breath out. You might like to swallow and just let the tension in your throat release. You can let your jaw jiggle a little bit, or you can press your tongue to the roof of your mouth. If you can, close your eyes. Think of that area underneath your eye being nice and relaxed, and your eyelids feel heavy, and that your eyelashes are touching down. Let your cheek area soften. Let your jaw release. Let the area around your mouth just relax and soften. Think of the gap between your forehead and your eyebrows widen, and even imagine your ears are just releasing down. Kind of scan down through your body now and check that each of the areas are nice and smooth and relaxed and they're not too tense. If you feel that anything is still a little bit niggly, move it and then try and stay still, or tense it and try and stay still. Taking a deep breath in, think about drawing that breath into your body and down towards your belly button. Holding it into your body and then slowly breathing out, releasing the tension. Then again, deep breath in. Hold the breath in your body and then that slow breath out. You've got one more of these. Deep breath in and then that slow breath out. Now you should be consciously aware that your body is relaxed, but you might find that your brain is still going and thinking. So use the listening technique for today. And this is where you can hear my voice, you can hear the music, but you want to hear noise outside of where you are. So maybe traffic on the road, maybe a dog barking, maybe people driving, maybe people talking, or if you're like me, maybe the sound of the sea. Imagine that you're trying to listen for that smallest noise. And then take your eyes into the far distance. So imagine that you're standing on a hill and that you're overlooking a long green valley that goes on for miles, and that you're shielding your eyes from the sun and looking as far away as possible. Taking a deep breath in and a slow breath out. Keep using that listening technique. Keep using that gazing into the far distance. Allow your body to be consciously relaxed. And I'm going to leave you on the floor here. I'm not going to talk for the next 30 seconds. And I want you to just focus on that slow breath in and the slow breath out. Remember, when you finish, don't sit up too quickly. Take your time and just enjoy the rest of your evening.